Okay. So um we were doing for loop, right? So there's some examples which I'm going to do, which will kind of give you more exposure about how for loops are done, right? So let's say if I want to print a star, so I'll simply print a star like this, right? And when I run it, okay, so you get stars here, correct? Now, if I want to print it in a loop, I want to print 5 stars. So what I'll do, I will say for I in range 5. So this is what we discussed. We said that if you do not have, or rather, if you have only one number in range, okay, if you have only one number in range, okay, then it is the ending number, isn't it?
Okay.
Right? Otherwise, okay, we have two numbers. One would be for starting value, another would be for ending value, right? If you have three numbers, that means it is for starting, ending, and increment, right? So I'm going to use only 5 here. That means it is only the ending value, and it's going to generate values from 0 to 4. It's going to generate values from 0 to 4, and it will print star here. Okay. Okay. So where if I push this inside for loop, this is going to print star 5 times, correct? So you get 5 stars here, right? Now that's the advantage of using loop. Instead of printing star 5 times, you do this. Now I want to print all these stars in same line. I want to print stars in same line. Okay. Okay. So see, print has a default new line. Print has a default new line. So yesterday, you must have seen, not yesterday, but last session, whenever we are doing print, every print content is starting from a new line. Okay. It's because there's an invisible command. There's an invisible command at the end of print, which gives a new line. Okay. So here also, if I see, if I'm printing, what happened? It came to a new line here, isn't it? It printed 5 times, and then cursor is at 6th line. Cursor is at 6th line, right? Because
Yeah.
cursor, okay, the printed 5 stars, and the last line actually printed that invisible new line. Okay, so that next time when you start printing something, it will be from the new line, not from the existing line. Okay, so okay, we need to print star in same line. So how can we do that? We can probably remove the invisible new line that we have. Okay, we need to remove the invisible new line that we have. So how do we remove the invisible new line? So there's command called as end. E-N-D, end. End equal to, I'm going to say /n. This is the actual command which is there by default, which is invisible to us, which we can't see. So this is there, which we can't see, right? Now, when I run it, you won't see any difference in the output. This is invisible. Okay. Now, since we want stars to be in same line, okay, I will delete this new line. Instead, I'll give a space. So what happens when we run? You see, all of these are getting printed in the same line. All of these are getting printed in the same line.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, if I print something here outside also, let's say I print A. Since the last line did not give a new line, A will be printed at the end here. And this A will print me a blank line, but A is at the end. So, instead of printing A, let's print a blank, something. You don't have to give this. Even print enough is enough to break it into next line. Okay. So this is how you can print star pattern or something, anything in same line. Okay. Okay. Now, I want to print, okay. This is at the end. This is 5 stars. I want to print this 5 stars 5 times. I want to print this 5 stars 5 times. Then what do we do? See, this is printing me a star.
Mhm.
And this whole thing is printing me a 5 star in one line.
Mhm.
So if I want to repeat this 5 times, that means I have to repeat this whole thing. Okay, let me first take only this. This is giving 5 stars, isn't it? So
Mhm.
if I have to print, so okay, 5 star, this thing I'm repeating 5 times. So I'll put another for loop for j in range 5, and now I'll push these two inside this.
Mhm.
Right? Now this is printing me one single line, and this I'm saying do it 5 times.
Mhm.
And now when you run it, you get 5, it printing 5, then again, because there's no way we are changing the line. So this is
Mhm.
printing in the same line. So what we'll do is, we will take this and print it once the inner loop is done. Now you see, you get the stars in 5 lines.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So this is 5 lines. Okay. Now next, what I want to do is, I want to print okay, let me take the whole thing. I want to print 1 star first, then 2 star, then 3 star, then 4, and then 5 stars. Okay, so I'm printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. Now what should I do?
Use the increment.
Which increment? Okay, so see,
Yeah.
what are we? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so what are we supposed to change here? We are supposed to change the number of stars that are appearing in each line, correct?
Mhm.
Now, if you talk about this thing itself, okay, we need 5 lines. An outer loop is helping us to print 5 lines.
Mhm.
Okay, outer loop is helping us to print 5 lines, correct? So outer loop will not have any change. Okay.
Mhm.
Outer loop, we are printing 5 lines, so outer loop is printing 5 lines, so no change there. Change will be when we are printing. Why? Because when we are printing different line, different parameters.
Mhm.
We are printing different line, different parameters, right? So this value first has to become 1, then 2, then 3. So I cannot say 5 here. I cannot put 5 as fixed value here. I have to put it some variable, right? So if you look around, could you find anything which could be used? So see, J is changing first 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, right? So I can use J plus 1. Since it started from 0, I want 1, right? So I'll say J plus 1. Now when you run it, you see, you get 5 stars.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's say, okay, I want to print something like this again. So I'll copy, and now this time I want to print in reverse order. Okay, so I want 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What should I do? Now see here. Same like last example, this need not be changed. This is what needs to be changed. So first it has to be 5. Then it has to be 5 minus 1, 5 minus 2, 5 minus 3. J is what is increasing, right? If I say 5 minus J, we'll achieve that.
Right.
Right? So simple 5 minus J, and you get it here. Right? Okay. One more example we'll do. We'll take the previous one. Oops. Okay. Now I want, wait. I want in this fashion. Now see here. If you look at this closely, this is a combination of this one and this one. See, in all these cases, we never bothered about blank spaces because it was on the right side. Now, here if you see, you have blank space which is printing something like this, isn't it? Blank space is increasing, decreasing, 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 finally becomes 0. And star is like this pattern. So if you put this one and this one together, you will get this. So, okay, so let's take, if I take this, and instead of printing star, I need to print single space. I don't need double space. I just give single space there. So this is ready. Okay, so you get only space. When you run it, you'll get only space. Okay, you see, you're getting only space here. Okay, which is good. Now we need star. Star is increasing. Star is increasing from here. So I'll just copy and paste that here. First space, then star, right? Then your new line. But only problem is you're using I and I here twice, right? So instead of I, we'll use something else, K, let's say. We don't want to use same variable name, right? Now let's run it and see what happens. See, we got it. And it's giving extra space. Okay, because we are saying minus j, right? So 5 minus 4. If you say plus 1, or rather minus 1, right? You want to reduce the space. So it will go here. Simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just copy it and paste it. That's it.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I think it was in first or second session. You showed an example where when you're printing country names, remember like India and Zimbabwe, like where to start the print.
No, that is different.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I was just trying to relate. Yeah.
Okay. That is where you are fixing the number of spaces,
Right.
right? You are fixing the number of spaces. Here we are not fixing the spaces. Just we are printing it. We are printing blank spaces. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yes, I mean you could relate. Okay, now that you're telling me, you could relate it something with like right alignment, all right? But I think this will be shorter in terms of number of
Yes.
lines.
Yes. Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do one more example of for loop. Okay. And then we'll go to the next example of while. So let's say okay, I want to print multiplication table. Okay. So what I'll do is I will first say n equal to 5, number equal to 5, multiple equal to 1, and I'll say print f, say n into m equal to n into m, right? So when you run it, you get 5 into 1. Okay. Now I want to run for 5 table, completely 5 tables. So 5 into 1, 5 into 2, so on. So I'll say for loop, right? For I
Or I in
range
range
1,
10.
11. Because 10
Okay.
if I do, it will start from 0 to 9, correct? I want 1 to
Right.
9. So I'll say
Okay.
1, 11.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I will push this inside, and instead of m, I'll use I, correct?
Mhm.
So you get multiplication table of 5.
Mhm.
Right. I want multiplication table of all 1 to 10, let's say. So now this thing has to go in another loop, correct?
Mhm.
So I'm going to say for j in range 1, 11, and I'll push these two inside. And instead of n, it becomes now j.
Mhm.
Which is good. We got all the values. But now what I want to do is I want to print side by side, like 1 table, then 2 table, then 3 table, then 4 tables, so on,
Mhm.
right? So when you're printing 1 to 10, I want to print in same line. So what I'll do here, I will say end equal to say space,
Space. Yeah.
say 2 space. And now once you are done one set, I'm going to say print blank.
Mhm.
Okay. So see, we got this print here. But
Mhm.
it's not right. See, it is 1 into 1. Okay, next become 2 into 1. So it's one table which is getting printed in one line. Second table is getting printed in second line. Third table is getting printed in third line. I want 1 table in column, 2 table in column. Okay. So if I just simply switch I to j and j to I, I'll get it. Right? Now you see 1 into 1, 1 into 2, 1 into 3. So now you're getting 1 table, 2 table, 3 table, so on. right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now you see this, it's dancing, right? It's dancing because it's obviously like, it's 2 digits, so it's taking more space,
Right.
right? So here we can use padding. Now I want to give 2 spaces to this I and J and maybe 3 spaces because maximum we have 3 characters. So I'll give 3 spaces to this. And numbers are generally right aligned, correct? Numbers are always right aligned, not left aligned. So I'll give 2 spaces here, :2 and right aligned. Right aligned means, right? This is how you
Mhm.
make the right align. So I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste it here and paste it here, but make it 3 here because we have 100. Now it looks perfect. Yes. So this is how you can use loop for your work. So we have used for loop for multiple examples. We have used loop inside a loop, right? So when you're using loop inside a loop, first inner loop will run.
Mhm.
Inner loop will, so outer loop will run. I mean, obviously first outer loop will call. So one run of outer loop is complete run of inner loop. Then
Right.
it goes to the second run of outer loop, inner complete run of inner loop. Then it goes for third round of outer and then complete run of inner loop. Yes. So on. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so yeah, with that we'll finish our for loop. We'll just see how while loop works. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So I told you while loop works when we don't know how many times. Okay. So there's no fixed times, but it is based on condition. So here we use while followed by condition. Okay. So if you say true, then it goes inside while, and if you say false, it will not go inside. So if I have to print a number from 1 to 10 using while, okay, so which is probably easier to do in for, but we will do it in while. Okay, so I'm going to put, say, I equal to 1. Now I'll check while I is less than equal to 10.
Mhm.
I is 1, right? So if I is 1 and so I is less than equal to 10, true, goes in. And I say print I. Okay, so I'm printing I. Now if I execute, what will happen? You're
It will.
getting 1, 1, 1, 1, 1,
Mhm.
right? Because we printed I is 1, so it goes back up, checks again the condition. Okay, so I is 1, checks the condition, true, goes in, prints I, then goes up, I is again less than 10, prints I, goes up, it keeps on printing I, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the solution is, here we have to increase. Nobody is increasing the value of I.
Mhm.
For is taking care of that automatically. But in while, we have to give, okay? So here, now, when you run it, you see 1 to 10 is getting printed here. Right? So this
Mhm.
is,
Mhm.
a way of implementing while, but while mostly works on true and false. So let's say I want to print hello until user wants. So I'll say ch equal to y. Okay. Now I'll say while ch equal to y. Correct? So I've defined ch equal to y. That means I want to execute it at least one time. Okay. And now I'm saying ch equal to y. Okay, so I'll ask the user, I'll print the hello. Hello. Now I'll say input. We have done input, right? Input is used to take the value from the user, right?
Yes.
So I'll ask the user, do you want to continue? Right? So I'll say ch equal to input. Press Y to continue. Any other key to stop. Okay, so now ch is y, and ch is y, it goes in, prints hello. Now, if you do not enter y, what happens? Value will not be y, and this will become false. So then you will go out of while, right? So if I run it, see it says hello. Press Y to continue, any other key to stop. I'll say Y. So it went up and print hello. Again, I'll say Y. Okay. Now if I say something else, K, L, M, whatever, it stopped because no longer value of ch is y. So the condition becomes false and you are thrown out of while loop.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll stop here for today. Okay.
Okay.
We have done good number of examples. Now assignment for today is try to implement whatever we have done using for loop using while.
Okay.
Okay. So tomorrow we'll take one good example of while and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. We'll take one mini project kind of thing. And then we'll stop. Then we move to
Yeah.
the topic, which is strings.
I like while loops a lot. I mean, in SQL, I use it a lot.
Ah, okay. Then it'll be easy for you.
Yeah.